What are the requirements for getting into medicine in South Africa? And what gets you accepted? Are you currently dreaming of becoming a medical doctor but are fearing the rejections that you might get from the medical schools you apply to? You're not alone. If you want to avoid heartbreaks and guarantee yourself acceptance from top universities like University of Pretoria, University of Cape Town, University of Witwatersrand, Stellenbosch University, SMU, UKZN, then keep watching. These tips are what will help you avoid these mistakes and help you get a provisional offer awaiting a final acceptance, which is going to help you put your foot in the door for getting into your dream medical school. Over the past 3 months, I've worked with students that were going on 2 years on a gap year and helped them get from getting rejections to getting acceptance. So keep watching. This is a classic example of what I want to speak about on terms of study choices, right? So this is an applicant that qualifies as per the selection criteria for this school. This is an example of UP, right? This is a student that qualifies for both, qualifies for accounting science, qualifies for medicine, gets all level 7s on all the subjects. But how you measure or how you put your first and second choice plays a big role in them accepting or rejecting your application. Now, this is a mistake that I don't want you guys to make. What you put as your second choice determines whether or not they can accept you or not. Let me explain. So if your first choice is medicine, because that is what you want to apply for, make your second choice to also be in the School of Medicine. If your first choice is medicine, your second choice has to be in the School of Medicine. If how many of you got accepted to accounting but you had put first choice being medicine? I know a couple of students that are sitting at home and they took a gap year because they got accepted to their second choice, not their first choice, and their first choice was in a different faculty than your second choice. It always happens like that. If your first choice is not in the same faculty and they have space on your second choice, they're gonna put you in the second choice and you're gonna get accepted in your second choice because it shows them that okay, this one is definitely not. Your first choice is not in the same school. If it's not in the same school being faculty, some of them call them faculty, some of them call it School of Medicine, School of Pharmacy, School of Dentistry. Now, remember, when they're doing the selection criteria, the faculty, like for example, accounting science, the faculty of accounting science is going to sit down and select their own students. And when they do that, not all the time do they have the faculty of medicine with them to say, okay, who are you selecting in medicine? The medicine faculty sits down on their own. The dental faculty sits down on their own. So if you're going to mix two faculties in your one application, some of the schools don't even accept you for second choice if you didn't put the first choice being, like for example, if you're applying for nursing at UP and you didn't put it as first choice, they're not going to accept you because you didn't put it as first choice. Now, when you put medicine as first choice, and you obviously have to put second choice, right? Make sure your second choice is in the Faculty of Medicine or School of Medicine. Here's a mistake. Pharmacy could be in the School of Pharmacy alone, not being in medicine, not being in the School of Medicine. Nursing could be in the School of Health Sciences, not in the School of Medicine. What does that tell you? Go back to the faculty thing. When the faculty sits down and they say, okay, we have 10 students that qualifies, they meet all the requirements. Now we only have space for 5. What are they gonna fine-tooth comb look? Okay, let's look with a fine-tooth comb in each one of them. Okay, this one put first and second choice to be in the same faculty. Let us keep them. This one put second choice to be in accounting. Let's shift them in accounting. Maybe accounting is gonna find a space for them. That is the most important thing. Now, if this has happened to you and you put your first and second choice and then you decide, okay, maybe let me rather take a gap year because I didn't want to do accounting. Why did you put accounting down if you didn't want to put accounting? Why did you put it down if you don't want to do accounting? If you want to do medicine, show the university that you want to do medicine with everything in you. Show them, I want to do medicine. It shouldn't just appear, this child just wants to come to university. It's not that this child wants to do medicine. You need to show them this applicant is determined about medicine. Another tip that I want to speak about is the selection criteria. If you do not know the selection criteria, it's like you are going into a certain place that you want to go to and you've never been there, but you're not even using Google Maps, or you just don't have a direction to go there. You just know, I want to get to Italy, but you do not have a map or a direction or any form of knowing where to go if you do not know the selection criteria. So make sure you know their selection criteria. It helps a lot for you to know, okay, I'm working towards this number because the school needs this number. All right. So I'm going to make an example with SMU, but you can plug in whatever school you want to go into the space. If you want to go to UCT, if you want to go to UP, plug in that school because they also have their own selection criteria and not all schools have the same selection criteria. So plug in that school and say, okay, this is the school I'm putting in, this is the school I'm wanting to go into, and plug it in. And then look at their selection criteria. So they say, SMU says, okay, for our first selection criteria, which is the grade 11 marks that you go there applied with, we are looking at 38. And they have 250 spaces. This 250 is allocated for grade 12 students that are coming in fresh from high school. And they have a number that they say, okay, we're looking at this number for people who are currently graduates and they've graduated and they're applying to come into medicine. And they have a certain number for saying, these are our first year students that are currently enrolled in other degrees within the school, and they want to now branch into medicine. They were doing first year, maybe they were doing first year BDS, dentistry. Maybe they were doing first year nursing and they want to apply for medicine. They allocate maybe 50 for their spaces. Okay? So it doesn't matter. The other year, the other school released a statement saying they got 10,000 applications and they only had 250 spaces for medicine. Those 10,000 were students that, got a level 3 in maths, while they're looking for a level 6 or level 7. For Wits, they're looking at 42 points. So the point system differs. So if you didn't even come close, but you put in your application, you're still counting the number that you put in the application in there. Some of the students do medlit. That is why I say, if you do not know the selection criteria, the subject choices, and you wanting to go into medicine, I've had more than 5 students that say, okay, I just want to do medicine or nursing or teaching. These are students that are now having medlits. They're doing medlits, they're doing history, they're doing tourism, and their goal is wanting to go into medicine. So you might think it's a small thing, but a huge number of people still do not know what are the selection criteria, what are the courses that they're looking at. All right. For SMU, they're saying they're looking at these 4 subjects. The other 2, they're just going to say 2 additional subjects, but these are the 4 subjects that they need. English, maths, physical science, and life sciences. Physics, maths, physical science, and life sciences. Now, if you do not have these 4 subjects, you're not in the running. If your subjects differ to this, then you're not in the running. If you have a math lit, if instead of physical science you have something else because you took something else, but you have life sciences, they want physical science and life sciences. They want both. So you need to make sure that your English is also level 6. Your maths, most of the time it becomes English or maths. The others becomes fine. So you need to make sure each one of these 4 are first going to give you 24 points or 28 points on these 4. 12. Yes, they need to give you 24 points and above. If they give you 28, great. That means you had a level 7 in one of them, because you do not just aim to say, okay, I've got a level 6, so it's good, I'm in. It doesn't. If all 7 of your subjects, then there's one that is like at a level 2 or a level 3, it sinks your aggregate. It makes your aggregate go down, and they also look at the aggregate of the subjects. They also look at what are the kind of subject choices did you take? Are they in line to what you are taking? What are your subject course first and second choice like? What was your first choice? What was your second choice? Then they look at that. Is your goal heading towards studying medicine, or you just want to be in university? So all of those things count when you sit down and do your selection. This is another issue that I want to raise. Maybe some of you are not aware of the GEMP, or the Graduate Entry Medical Program, that University of Wits has. So if you get accepted because of space, and if you don't get accepted to medicine in the first year, instead of taking a gap year because you were not accepted, and you get accepted to doing, maybe let's say you get accepted to doing education, B.Ed, or maybe you get accepted to doing nursing, or you get accepted to doing, I don't want to say pharmacy or BSc, because I feel like they're one of the hard courses to do, and GAMP requires you to have 70%. In each year you need to get an average of 70%. So any course that you get accepted to, that maybe humanities, right? Maybe you get accepted to humanities. I'm not saying humanities is easy, but I'm saying courses that is possible for you to get a 70% aggregate each year until you finish. If you're going to do a 3-year course, if you get maybe oral hygiene, it's 3 years, and you are able to maintain a 70% aggregate each year, you get an opportunity of entering into third year medicine. Of course, they have their own selection criteria where you have to write a test, an interview, and the test is test knowledge of anatomy, physiology, and you have to sit down and write the test. I've seen a lot of people pass the test if you prepare for it well. And if you enter into a degree, do not say all is lost, I cannot now do my degree. Or do not sit at home and take a gap year, because remember what I mentioned, that their selection criteria is: one, matric students; two, students who have finished their degrees and are applying into getting into medicine; three, students who are currently doing a first year course and wanting to come into medicine. There is a small chance for people who have taken a gap year and they finished matric 2 years ago and they were not doing anything. There is a small space left for that, if any is.